Green light, green light.
Sweet.
Green means go. Green means go. Here we are. It's a wonderful Sunday here. And, one of the things that I just want to speak on right now is just take the time to acknowledge my team and the people who have helped us get here along the way. We're on episode 171. We're moving, we're grooving. I had spoken about maybe going to episode 175, doing a live podcast, having people come in. We've done live podcasts before, episode 100, episode 150. And then I was like, you know what, let's do 175. Let's do it in a different area. But the reality of the fact is we got so much going on right now. There's I just don't want to stop the train. The locomotive is moving, it's grooving. Don't stop the action while it's going. So, shout out the team here. People who have worked with me in the past. Shout out you. Shout out Michael. Shout out Z Visions. Shout out Nezo. Just want to give them the flowers, because honestly, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't make it this far. But here we are, as I said, for episode, I like that. Here we are, as I said, for episode 171, featuring the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Austin Kash. Welcome to the show, bro. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Our first endeavor, our first ever interaction was at Atmosphere Music Festival 2024. Right? Yeah, Atmosphere Music Festival 2024. I didn't know Austin. Had no idea who he was. But I'll tell you, he was the guy in the crowd making it happen. Okay? Dude, you were so lit that night, and you were a crowd favorite without a doubt. Because there was at one point that we were giving away a flyer.
That's right.
And I was pulling ticket ends out of a bag or whatever, and no one was claiming it, And then at some point, I think Steve's mom said, "Give it to Austin."
Yeah.
Say, give it to Austin, and then I believe you got your own chant going.
Everybody's going.
Yeah.
Hurrah, hurrah.
Austin. You were on someone's shoulders that night, bro.
Yeah, I think his name was Dane.
Did you ever find that guy? I remember as you posted on your story, you're like, we got to find this guy.
Yeah, I've been on the hunt. I think he's maybe 30-ish. Name's Dane. If you're out there, Dane, I'm looking for you, guy.
Dane. You got to make an appearance. We're looking for you, my man.
You're VIP.
What was your energy that night? What were you on? Two cups of beer and a soda? What was it?
2 Twisted Tea Tall Boys.
Nice.
But I don't drink much. So
gotcha.
That was all I needed that night.
That was enough. That was enough for you.
Yeah, you put up with my drunk ass.
Yeah, you were saying let me get on stage and play the drums.
Yeah, I was a little in over my head.
Hey, I honestly would have let it happen if it was something planned. I would have definitely let it happen, but
yeah,
it didn't happen. And then 2025 Atmosphere, you were there as well. Shout out Tate because she had mentioned how good you guys are as friends, and she had I was like, I want to bring him up stage. We didn't tell you about that, and yeah, we're jamming out there. We're having a good time. And I was like, yo, Austin, come up.
Yeah, that was a good time, too.
That was a surreal experience, man. So kudos to you. You're the life of the party. You're here for episode 171 as a certified musician, a certified, just all around nutcase, but in a good way. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude.
So tell me a little about yourself. You're from Bloomsburg?
Oh, yeah. So I was born out there. Parents kind of split in that area. So I've been going back and forth in that area for my life.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not good at talking about myself.
No, you're good, man. Well, you're going to talk about yourself today. That's why you're here. I just noticed that your shades or your glasses are the translucent ones, I guess, where they go to shaded and then clear. Yeah, because you were shaded earlier. But all right, so you were born in Bloomsburg. A little bit of backstory about yourself. You started playing music at an extremely young age. In particular, you started playing piano. What got you into that? Was it put upon you by your parents, or was it something that you just took a natural interest on early on?
So that's a funny story. My sister, she's about a year older than me, and she was playing violin. I had to go to violin lessons every Wednesday. And her teacher was this lady named Mrs. Nora. Sweet old lady, but it was the most stale, boring environment you could ever think of for a 5, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mom, I can't do this. I need something to do. I wasn't allowed to have the Wi-Fi. So she was like, there's a piano teacher next door. You could take up that. It's like, something to do. Why not?
Yeah.
And here we are today. So shout out Mrs. Nora for being so boring.
Mrs. Nora, you changed this man's life for the better. So,
Thank you.
so you got into piano because, it was like the class next door. If you were to do it again, would you have chosen a different instrument to start on?
I wouldn't do it differently because piano, I call it the gateway drug of music
Okay.
because it teaches you everything. Two-hand coordination, bass, the higher register, rhythm. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also because, like, the way a piano keyboard's laid out with all the notes and whatnot.
Yes, I've heard. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've
All good.
heard that learning piano is probably one of the, like you said, the gateway drug of music. I
Mhm.
like how you said that because you can read all the notes. You get a full layout of all this, the full spectrum of what music can entail.
Exactly. And to add to that, all the notes are in a line.
Mhm.
So it's really easy to like visualize and be like, oh, these are like that far apart and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And did you pick it up like naturally? Was it something that came to you naturally, or did it take you a little while to actually learn it?
Somewhat. I mean, after a few years, I was all right and I could read sheet music, but I got so lazy with it that I would just, I completely forgot how to read sheet music after that. So I learned, then forgot.
Really? Okay.
And then I'd have my piano teacher like show me how to play it the first day. He had a piece. Then I would just like remember how to play it so I didn't have to read it.
Okay.
So out of pure laziness, I got better.
That's insane, bro. So naturally gifted with music. Does music run in the family?
Yeah, my father, he's kind of why I got into guitar.
Okay.
Because he was a blues guitarist, always had guitars around. So I was like, yeah, it's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's always just something to do,
For you out there, so it's like, is Bloomsburg kind of like a chill area, not much going on, but you found yourself in the music scene?
Yeah, real laid back. We're actually trying to make a music scene out there right now.
Really? Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Who's we?
So I got a good little crew at the moment. I drum in a band called Wombat.
Yes.
So the three of us were playing
sick
shows,
name.
whatnot. Thank you, man. And then we have a friend named Rain McCoog, and he's trying to kind of become like a booking agent,
Okay.
kind of help everybody get shows going. But that's the problem. There's no live events. No one has anywhere to go. No one wants to go anywhere.
In Bloomsburg, really?
Oh, yeah.
It's a big college town. You would think that they would have something of the sort out there.
But all the college kids are home right now.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha, I gotcha.
Even then, the college kids just want to get drunk and
Yeah.
go smash mailboxes, you know?
Yeah, those block parties are really a sight from what I've heard. I've never been to a block party, but I did go to Bloomsburg for a football camp. I had a good time there. It's a wonderful facility, wonderful university.
Yeah.
So shout out Bloomsburg University there, the Huskies. And all right, so you were in a band. So all right, excuse me. Let's draw back a little
Let's
bit.
do it.
Let's draw back a little bit. Okay, so Keys, right? Keys for 16 years. What type of music were you inspired by and listening to and playing at that time on your free roam, on your own leisure and time?
So that's the weird part. So I got into piano at 6.
Mhm.
I didn't start listening to music on my own until I was about 14.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. Why was that?
I mean, like, we'd have it on the radio and
Yeah.
whatnot, but for me, it just never really struck me as something. I was a very weird kid. I'd just sit in silence and walk around alone in the woods, this
Really?
real weird shit.
What'd you do in the woods alone?
Just walked and thought about stuff, played with rocks,
Yeah.
kid stuff. I wasn't like murdering rabbits or something.
Okay.
It's
All
not
right.
Freak the Mighty, you know?
Oh man, I respect that, man. That's awesome. So you just you started listening to music at 14. Who were you listening to, and like what made you want to start listening to music since you've gone so long in your life without listening to music? I feel like me personally, music's been around forever,
Oh, yeah.
Been listening to it at those Spanish house parties while I'm
Yeah.
sleeping at 2 a.m. Mom's in the garage partying, having a good time, stuff like that. So what made you get into listening to music at the age of 14?
At the time, I was real into like video games
Okay.
and just a lot. Like, it's not talked about, but so many games have an amazing soundtrack. Like almost any Nintendo game, go to a soundtrack. It's like Bach. It's like crazy.
Good point.
So
Yeah.
I was always hearing that in the background of the games. I'd be like, that's interesting. I want to hear that. I want to understand that. So slowly through that, I just was getting into the music world. I also like learning things a lot. So I would
Uh-huh.
see a lot of like documentaries about bands and I'd be like, yeah, why not? I'll check it out.
So who were some of the early on bands that you were listening to? I listen to your music. I think you're inspired by a very popular selection of music, but I want to hear who you listen to.
So for me, early on, it was a bit of Nirvana, a
Yeah.
bit of Rage Against the Machine, and specifically this band called Helmet piqued my interest. And no one knows Helmet, but I couldn't put the words how much that shaped me as a musician.
So why was it that you enjoyed Helmet's music? How did they sound? What is it?
Uh, so they don't really fit into a box.
Okay.
They're heavy, but they're not metal, and they're too heavy to be like soft rock or whatever. But everything they play is so rhythmic and intense. It's like it's like a really sharp knife. Just cuts through really well for me.
Interesting. Helmet. I'd have to check them out. Have you been to any of their concerts
I actually am going to see them in August.
for the first time?
Yep, up here in Wilkes-Barre, I think.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. So, you were playing the piano, and then your next instrument after that was the guitar, bass.
I went to drums in the middle school band,
Okay, cool.
which
So-
is all right.
Well, drums all about tempo, setting the tempo, pace, everything like that. And I feel like, with your energy, I've seen you perform. You got a lot of YouTube videos of you doing performances with the Wicked Wombat, as well as Orentia?
I was in a band called Arestia.
Arestia. My apologies.
That's a good topic to hit on.
Yeah, I mean, we're here right now. Why don't we talk about it?
So Orestia was like a blues band, kind of. I was like 18, maybe 19 at the time, and they were finishing up high school, so like 16, 17, in that range.
Mm-hmm.
We got together to play. I was in the group for like 3 months, played keys. This was the single grossest band I've ever been a part of.
Elaborate. What does that mean?
They had a moldy pizza with cigarette butts in it
Whoa,
for a prop. They
Whoa.
would just like play with it and touch it. I'm like, get that out of my face.
that's pretty nasty.
And this is the crown gem of filth. All right. Get my keyboard down there in the morning in the basement. Reach to plug it in. My hands grazes something cold and wet. I said, "What is that? What is down there?"
Yeah.
Said, "Oh yeah, man, like we got drunk and like didn't want to wake up his mom, so one of us pissed in a bottle, but we like spilled it, so we used that blanket to wipe it up." I was like, "Why is it still in here? Why?"
That is filthy. What's the origin story behind this pizza?
I think it's literally as simple as they got a pizza, they just left it until it got moldy, and they just didn't throw it away. They were just filthy.
That's pretty.
I don't
That's
have
pretty
words for how
nasty.
filthy.
That's pretty nasty. I actually Arestia is the name of the band here, and I just wanted to Google what that word meant. Are you familiar with what that word means?
I think like the plural of it or something was like a Greek story or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It says trilogy of ancient Greek tragedies tells the story of the curse of the house of Arius.
Okay.
Through cycles of murder, revenge, and justice.
Yeah, they were a real hippie and peace band, so that doesn't fit.
Really? Okay.
Murder and justice.
So you were in that band for how long?
3 months. We did 3 shows, and after that, I called it quits.
Okay. Was it because of the filth?
The filth, they sucked. I'll be honest, they sucked as musicians.
Hmm.
And they were just weird. This is weird, man. I took the main guy to his job. He works at like a Burger King or something.
Mhm.
I was dropping him off. I had to go to work myself. He's like, "Hey, man." He had he was like fat white Michael Jackson with that voice. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to hang out? I'll give you $20. I was like, "No,
Oh, that's weird.
that is so weird. You have problems, guy."
And so you were in that band playing keyboard, and they just weren't fitting your musical style. Maybe they weren't developing as artists or as musicians. And so you decided to leave that band. And then what'd you do after that? What was next?
So that was 3 years ago.
Mhm.
After that, I went solo. So I was trying to find somewhere to do my album, and eventually I found Encore Studios.
Shout out Encore Studios, Dan the Man. We love you.
Have a good vacation, Dan. Anyway, I wanted to go solo, mainly because it's so hard to find a band.
Uh-huh.
getting 4 people to not only agree on a sound, but also a schedule and all of this other stuff, it's almost impossible. So I said, I'll do it on my own. Found Encore Studios, and then November 25, I started recording it with him.
November of 25. You were recording with him, and you're still recording with him, and you have a couple EPs available on SoundCloud, and then you are working on an album as well.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about some of these EPs. Listening to your sound, you got some very popular songs. Some of your two top popular songs is Soul Searcher. Right,
Soul Slave.
Soul Slave. My apologies, Soul
All
Slave.
good.
I have it in my notes. I just didn't want to refer to it. Soul Slave. So Soul Slave itself is like a very calm, mellow song, but it's like you're singing to it is like it's really cool, bro. It's like you're finding a good pitch, a good range, and what made you want to create that album? It's called excuse me, the EP. It is called. I have it in my notes right here. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Solo album for 2026. No, I don't have it. What the freak is it called? Life Stories.
Oh, I didn't even remember.
Life Stories. Life Stories demo.
Yeah. So, what was the question? Sorry.
The Life Stories demo. When you're creating that EP, what were you trying to portray while you were? Because that was that your first EP or was it your second EP?
See, on SoundCloud, it gets a little confusing for me because I kind of just every now and then throw like a collection of my old demos together, and sometimes I repost the same old stuff and whatnot. So that one's a little disorganized, but I don't know. I really like melodic sounds.
Okay. Yeah.
And that song itself is just 2 chords, but it's what you can put over those 2 chords to make it interesting.
And how do you visualize music when you're playing these songs? What do you visualize when you're thinking of music? If you could portray it, show it to people, what would it be?
It's all shapes to me.
Okay.
And relationships. So say like someone will be like, this is a C, this is an E. I don't think about it like that. I think about it as the distance of those 2 notes from each other.
Okay.
So that makes all your relationships in music. Like minor is like, wish I had a guitar on me.
There's one over there. Michael, pass him the guitar.
It's easier to explain with that.
Yeah. Michael will get you the guitar. We'll get that guitar is actually a prop that we just kind of keep in the background, and you're actually gonna make a good use of it. So
y'all a bunch of poses, man.
Shout out. Have you ever smashed a guitar? You look like you've definitely smashed a guitar too.
Oh, I want to so bad.
But
hell, at my last show, my drum set exploded on me.
No way.
Thank you.
All right. So as we were saying, it's a little dusty. It's just a prop there. He's gonna tune it. You know what I think is interesting? Everyone who comes and checks out this guitar tunes it to what they think is right. So I don't really know if it's ever tuned properly or not.
It's actually very close.
Okay. All right, sweet.
So, like I was saying, you got your C, you got your E. But you hear that? That's kind of like a happy sound.
Yeah.
But you take your C and your E flat. It's like that dark, like I'm in the woods, about to get murdered. It's all about the relationships in the notes. And that's how you build all your chords.
And so guitar was self-taught. You said your father played guitar.
Yes.
Did he teach you any notes and everything like that? You said he was like in a blues band?
Yeah, not really a band, just kind of played for fun.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, actually, no, not really. He had some equipment around. He's like, here's a guitar, go for it.
And you just started learning by the sound, not classically trained, traditionally trained. How'd you learn it?
I would watch a lot of like guitar YouTube videos, people just playing, and just watching it long enough, I was able to pick it up.
Yeah, very sick, bro.
I mean, any skill. People think a guitar is some like wonderful, crazy thing. It's just like putting a roof on a house, Your first 100 houses, you're not going to know what you're doing. But eventually, you'll know how the hell to put a nail in one hit.
What is your favorite instrument to play since you've played so many instruments? You got the guitar, keyboard, drums.
Guitar, I feel like represents me best, and I write best as a guitarist. But I love playing drums just for the fact that for me, it's easy, I think. and then it's just you get to bang on shit.
What do you mean by like the guitar represents you best? What do you mean by that?
I feel like the sounds and the songs I want to create, like the guitar is my best vehicle to create those.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you like to create a melodic sound, would you say?
A mix of melodic and like I like doing two different rhythms at once,
Mhm.
and it just like totally throws you off. I like making weird music.
Do you want to keep that guitar on you, or should Michael take it back?
We could set it down for
Well,
now.
yeah, just set it down. Just keep it in a corner or something like that.
We'll set it
It's
over
got a
here.
lot of dust on it, as you can see. It was kind of a COVID thing, and I never did anything with it. But shout out the guitar. So, tell us a little bit about your father. You know, you told me that your father passed. You know, a while ago. I don't know how long ago, but tell us a little bit about your father and how that affected you.
Yeah. So he was awesome, man. He trying to think where to start with him. So as long as I could remember, my parents were split. So they both had their houses in their
Mhm.
towns. And my father was just very friendly, very happy man, but also very private. He liked his quiet time. He liked being alone.
Mhm.
And some of my best memories are with him. Like he would take me and my sister growing up to this hippie festival, just hang out for the weekend, walk around eating a burrito at 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
not knowing everyone around you's tripping balls, mixing Bloody Marys with our aunt, just
Yeah.
having a good time. But he was very much like, have fun, live now. We'll see tomorrow when it comes.
And do you live your life that way?
To a degree, he was a great example for me to learn from of what not to do,
Mhm.
basically. But he also set me up with a lot of empathy, I think.
Okay. Elaborate. How so?
He was one of the few people in my childhood that I felt comfortable being vulnerable with.
Mm,
Because
that's good.
I have a big problem with vulnerability,
Okay.
but he just made it feel all right to be me.
So may I ask, how long when did he pass?
He passed the day after Christmas,
Ouch.
2019.
Ouch.
Happy New Year. All right, I make jokes. It's all right.
And how has that transformed your life since 2019 to now? I saw on your social media that at some point you did buzz cut your hair as well.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had some questionable choices. So this is the weird thing about it. So that was 2019.
Yeah.
I really didn't process it for like 2 years. For 2 years, I just didn't really I just kept going, living my life.
Yeah.
Then eventually, it just hit me how real it was. I was like, shit, he's just gone forever.
Hmm.
So since then, it's made me a much more resilient and stronger person, I think. You got to look at the positives with everything.
Hmm.
So it's made me able to handle stress and death a little better.
And was it by natural causes or?
Oh, no.
Oh,
It
okay.
was some form of drug overdose.
Gotcha.
We'll go with fentanyl cocktail.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, that sounds like the cocktail of the choice. So, damn, bro, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But it sounds like he was a very influential guy to you. He made you feel vulnerable, which is important. I think that's really cool that you acknowledge that.
Mhm.
Being able to be vulnerable with your parents, especially, as a father, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud to hear that and know that. So shout out your dad there. And so now, you had also mentioned you're a crazy guy, man. So let's get into some of the craziness about your life. Because after I read that, there was a statement about involved in a man's death. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, how do you do that?
So it was actually a year ago, almost to the date, but it was like a regular morning. I was with my buddies. They were driving me home, and we were getting ready to take a turn, and this old guy on a motorcycle was coming like 60 miles an hour. And he was going so fast that there was nothing he could do. It was either hit us head on or swerve and fly off the road at 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
So he hit the front corner of the car, flew from the car, landed in a ditch with walls like this with the bike pinned on top of him.
Oh my God.
So, and I mean, I climbed down in that pit. So I was like trying to, get his attention, say, "Are you all right?" And all you could hear was just like gruff mumbling under there. And it took like an hour for the paramedics to get there. The Press Enterprise was there first. I hate the press. They're there. There's a guy dying in a pit. And they're like, "Would you like to give a statement?" Here's my statement. Fuck off. There's a man dying right now.
That's insane.
So the paramedics get there, and it takes them like an hour to get the winch system set up to get the bike off the guy. And of course, I'm wearing a tie-dye Grateful Dead shirt, so I don't look great in this scenario. But yeah, that was that situation.
Wow, that is a crazy experience, bro.
I think the guy was like 75 or something.
Wow. That is crazy. And you weren't driving?
No, backseat passenger.
So were you guys accused of fault or anything like that?
No. I mean, the police showed up, interviewed the girl that was driving, and then they just sent us all home. No real investigation.
That's crazy. How'd you sleep that night?
Pretty good. I didn't have any guilt on my conscience.
That's crazy.
I wasn't driving.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I just be in that experience, so
it certainly was heavy.
Yeah.
And stressful in the moment.
Yeah.
But
without a doubt. Wow, that is insane. RIP to that bike rider, man. That's a
Rest
pretty
in peace.
crazy story, man. And so, let's get back to the music here a little bit. You had gone to school for music tech, something like along the lines of that. So you were in school for 2.5 years. What school did you go to?
I went up to Bloomsburg University.
Okay.
There.
So you were there for 2.5 years and you were studying.
So college is a little bit of a mess for me too, but I did 1 year of music tech. Then I took a semester off because I had a seizure.
Okay.
Which was nuts. We'll get back to that. But I took the semester off and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I went back for journalism. Hated it.
Yeah, F the press, right?
I don't want to work with that.
Yeah.
So I said, whatever, I'm dropping out. Sorry, Mom.
So you had mentioned you had a seizure while in college. What induced that seizure?
Yeah, so I worked at this little mom and pop sub shop in town, and we have a yearly fair. We're prepping for that because we had a stand there. So I'm literally just stacking sliced turkey on papers.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere, I don't know if you've had like a medical event like this or anything similar, but out of nowhere, I just had this impending sense of doom. Like the world's about to end. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I need to get a water or something.
Yeah.
I walk out to get a water. My coworker's like, "You all right, man? You don't look all right." I go to open my mouth to say something, and my jaw just starts sputtering. And I guess I passed out and just fell on the floor.
Wow.
That's the weird part. It was only 2 or 3 seconds of unconsciousness, but immediately I felt different.
Right after it?
As soon as I woke back up, it was like everything before that was a separate thing from the life after.
Really?
It's spooky.
Like it changed your life.
Completely.
In the moment.
One positive of it is any job I have now, I can't just stand around and not do anything. I feel like I have to be working.
You have to be moving. What was the source of that? Did they ever find out what may have caused that?
No, I didn't go to the hospital.
What a thug.
I don't have good insurance, man. What do you?
Whatever, man.
Got a job to do.
I tell him to just put it on my tab, bro. That's what I tell him. For real.
I got dogs to feed, man.
You'll get it eventually.
But I think it was a mix of I was horribly stressed out.
Yeah.
Studying classical guitar, that'll ruin you. But I was doing that, so I was stressed. I wasn't eating enough, and I wasn't drinking water that much. So I think all those things just came together and smacked me down that day.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the before and after, like the different feeling of life to take? What was that all about?
I think having an experience, and not saying like I was close to death or anything, but having an experience that jostles your sense of mortality or something like that, I think that gives you different perspective that you didn't know you could have.
Gotcha.
So like before that, I was like, I'm invincible. I'll just eat canned soup and chicken wings forever. then that happened. I was like, all right, water, protein. We're gonna get healthy now.
That was a heart healthy diet you had there, huh?
Bit of a wake up call for me.
That is insane. This never happened again ever since then?
Nope.
Wow. And you never got it checked out. That's weird.
Hell no.
That's weird, bro. I mean, I can't say that I've had an experience like that. There was a time in my life that I almost lost my ear. I was almost a Vincent Van Gogh guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had like a staph infection from wrestling on my left ear. It was pretty bad. I was in a hospital for about I was in there for a weekend. They let me out. They gave me medicine. The medicine wasn't working because at that point, the infection was no longer in my bloodstream. It was in my cartilage. And then I went back to the hospital for my follow-up. Well, I went back to the doctor for follow-up, and he was like, yeah, we got to get you back in the hospital. And this is all in my sophomore year of high school. And it was pretty nuts. I didn't like it. It sucked. Being in a hospital, I'm not one for hospitals. I always tell people if I'm on life support and it's, if I'm going to make it or not, and I've lived a pretty long life, just pull it. Just pull it. I don't need to be there, bro. I don't like the hospital. My legs are shaking right now just even thinking about a hospital, bro. But yeah, I almost lost my ear, and I still have both ears. So thank God for Dr. Westheim. He came in and he said, I've seen this before in Africa, and he basically fixed it. He gave me the right stuff.
Was your Dr. Skips from Regular Show?
No.
I've seen this before.
Regular Show. That's a great show as well. So, all right. So that happened. You want to take the guitar, Michael?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Help me out, Michael.
Shout out Michael. He's a multi-branded, multi-skillful guy, keeping it real all the time. 25-8, no escape. All right, so talk to me about, just so you were in school, you dropped out of school, and you had mentioned that you were pursuing a comedy career?
Yeah, so
Your life is sporadic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good thing, but I kind of just do one thing at a time or 100. But I wanted to move out to Texas to pursue a stand-up comedy career, which pretty much that is almost entirely to just what's the word I'm looking for? To build connections.
Okay, yeah, they say Texas is
networking.
the home of comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Austin,
I want to
Texas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the spot.
I want to go down there, network, and then eventually two of my buddies that are still up at Bloomsburg, we're going to open up an entertainment company, music company. Just go for it.
And did you do that or no?
No, I got to move to Texas first.
So, wait, I'm sorry. I'm referring to the music company.
Oh, no, not quite.
Okay, what happened there? What? All right, so comedy. Did you have any comedy experience prior to that?
No, not a lick.
You're wild, bro. So one day you just woke up and said, I want to go to Texas. I want to do comedy, pursue comedy.
Absolutely.
And it didn't go through.
It's not that it hasn't gone through. I'm just currently in the process. I got to save up money, get out there, figure out somewhere so I'm not homeless.
So you're still aspiring to do that?
Absolutely.
And have you done any comedy sets?
No.
Do you have a premise for jokes or anything like that?
I have a couple loose ones.
Okay.
But currently I'm more in the world of music at the moment. So I'll make my transition eventually.
Interesting. Okay. And then so you were going to open up an entertainment business with your buddies, but that never happened either.
I'm still waiting on them to graduate.
Okay.
So they're still whipped to Bloomsburg per se.
Gotcha. And what would this music company, what would it pertain? You had mentioned earlier that, you were trying to bring up the music scene, get bookings in Bloomsburg. Would it be basically creating your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Your lifeline of music for other musicians?
Absolutely. I want to help people that were in my position that I'm in now.
Okay.
Dan, who I work with, is Dan's great because I think he sees my vision and my work ethic, and he says, all right, I'll cut you slack. I'll work with you. We'll make it work for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect the way he does it so much that I want to be able to be someone's Dan someday,
Yeah, no, I hear that. And, Dan, I've had the pleasure of having him on a podcast, and, his whole premise of the Encore Studios was when he was growing up, there weren't studios for people to record in or to rehearsal in, most importantly. And so, he decided that out here in this area, after he was done touring and doing all his music endeavors, he decided to open up Encore Studios, located in Ion, Pennsylvania. Our proud sponsor of Atmosphere Music Festival. And my guy Austin is there all the time now, working on an album. Which I did see got delayed a little bit.
Yeah, so the record itself is coming out I'm shooting for October.
Okay.
I was going to have an EP. I was like, April, y'all. May, y'all. June, man. Now it's July and Dan's on vacation, so we're kind of just waiting.
Gotcha.
But I mean, he's been a doll for putting up with me this far.
Doll.
Dan the doll.
What a way to put it. I did ask him about you as soon as we booked our episode. I did ask him what he thinks about you and your music and how you create music. And he said that, Austin is a really great musician. He comes in with an idea and a plan, and he's like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make it sound like this. And then you get in the booth and it comes out completely different. Is that true? Would you agree with that?
To a degree. I mean, mostly like the tones themselves.
Okay.
So like, and it's so hard to explain, but like maybe the guitar has too much mid and I want a little more high end. It's all about what you hear yourself, and everybody has different ears.
Yes.
So obviously my ears versus Dan's ears are going to be button heads.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
At the end of the day, I chose him because of his experience. I mean, if you're going to make rock music, you need a rock producer. You need someone that understands rock music.
Yes, I agree with that. And Dan was an animal back in the day, man. His bands and his stories and stuff like that. So that's pretty awesome. And are you still playing with the Wicked Wombat?
Oh yeah, we had 2 shows this last weekend, but we're taking a break from shows to work on an album.
Okay, cool. And how did you find your way in Wicked Wombat?
So that's an interesting story. When I was in college, I met this guy named Bryce Turner. All right, and I met him, and we're talking, and I'm out of nowhere. I'm like, "When were you born?" He's like, "December 22nd, 2004." Like, no kidding. I was born December 22nd, 2004.
No shit.
He's like, "What hospital?" "Danville." I was like, "No shit. I was born in Danville." He said, and I think later on, I was like, "What's your father's name?" He's like, "Steven." I was like, "My father's name is also Steven."
That is insane.
So I knew I had to be friends with this guy.
Yeah.
But he was doing a non-band related, like just meet up and play thing. I was like, "Yeah, I'll play drums for you." And we had a bass player.
A jam session.
Yeah, just all of us plug in and play. And then we had the 4th guy with us, that was Rain. And he wasn't part of Wicked Wombat. But the 3 of us on the other end of the room decided that we wanted to help Bryce because he had a solo project. That was what Wicked Wombat was. So we were like, "Yeah, let's make it a real band."
I like it. And what do you enjoy most about what is an ideal jam session for you?
Ideal jam session is everybody comes knowing their parts. When you rehearse with a band, the notion walking into that room should be, we're not here to learn the songs together. We're here to perform together.
Gotcha.
If you're doing a cover and you show up and you don't know the cover, you're out of the band. It's that simple. I mean, if you're not willing to put in, it's like showing up to an algebra test without studying. It's like, you might pass, but you probably don't know what you're doing.
So as you're in these jam sessions, I like how you said that you come there to perform together. That's a great outlook on it. How much does that translate to your guys' show?
I'd say pretty well. I mean, the only difference between rehearsal and the show is just the crowd.
Yeah.
But I think slowly, we've played about 7 shows, so we're building up that confidence, that band stage presence and whatnot.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. And, you had just mentioned that your show over the weekend, you blew out a drum set. What do you mean by that? How'd you do that?
So we had our first hour-long set.
Sweet.
Headliner show.
Yeah.
And first 2 minutes of the show, I think the stand for the snare drum was too tight on the bottom, holding it. So I was playing. 2 minutes in, the drum head itself just shoots off the kit.
No way.
Flies off to the side. I tried to keep the time and get it with my other arm, but I'm like, I can't. So we had to restart the whole set.
That's crazy.
That may have been our best show ever. We recorded it. I had my phone duct taped to a microphone stand.
Nice.
By the half point of the show, the kids were jumping so much that the camera rotated off the band.
That's awesome.
So all you see is a bunch of these shirtless people just all jumping.
Where was the show at?
This was Phillips Emporium in Bloomsburg.
Very nice, very nice. And would you say Wicked Wombat's pretty well known out there?
We're certainly making our name known. Most of the local bands kind of have an idea of us.
Cool, very nice. Are you guys going on tour anytime soon?
In the fall, we might try to do something. We definitely, every Saturday of September, I think we have a show at Phillips.
Very cool, very nice. And talk to me about the creation of the writing of and everything in that band. Are you taking part in writing notes, or is Bryce Turner basically like, this is what I want to do, let's make it happen?
So he came to us with a collection of maybe 8 songs, fully written out, full ideas. So, and the bass player's name's Ethan, just to clear that up. But
shout out Ethan.
But Ethan and I would basically say, this is what you want. We'll find a way to slot ourselves into it to not only work, but also to express how we like to play.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool.
And of course, that's changed little things, like say there was a part, and then I come in and say, well, we could do this, and that'd be a little cooler, and be like, yeah, all right. So it's like building a house together. It's like one person might want oak walls, one person might want mahogany. It's just finding what everybody can agree on. And yeah.
You have a lot of house analogies. That's your second house analogy of the day. First we were talking about roofs, and now we're talking about building the house. I love it.
I guess. Oh, I didn't clock that.
I love it. I love it. Let's get into Tea Time. Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. Cheers to Tea Time. Shake it up. Here we go. ASMR for the people.
Do it with my teeth.
So that's wicked.
Wombat.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. You beat me to it. I like it. I had the blueberry Arizona with my boy Zommaster Smooth, and he said, "What is that?"
It's the best. Do you tried it then?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think,
bro? I've tried like every single one except for there's I love it. It's very light. It's light. It's flavorful. Big fan of the blueberry. But there's a new flavor out now called the green tea with Mike's hot honey sauce.
I tried that.
And
not a fan.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I just doesn't appeal to me. I don't think I would try that one either.
Also, speaking of the new flavors, I got a bone to pick with Arizona. I was so mad. There's a Sheetz 5 minutes from my house. I go there all the time at like 1 a.m. See these new flavors. I'm like, oh, nice. Lime cherry. Get home, crack it open. It was seltzer.
Yeah.
Who wants seltzer tea? No one.
I got Michael the one with the Rizzler on it.
And
it was carbonated. It was seltzered. And
garbage.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I hate seltzer.
You guys want to say, Mike?
But we love Arizona, though.
We love Arizona. It is our unofficially official sponsor, Arizona Iced Tea. Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona. Here we go. Let's get into tea time. My guy Austin there, questions within his pot. Please pick one question, one piece of paper, and then pass me the paper. Let's see what the question of the day is. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. And shout out the shirts that we're both repping today. You're repping Encore Studios, the home of, Austin Kash, Steve's PA, Dan Dearborn. I'm over here wearing Earnedest. Earned, always earned, never given. Shout out my boy, CEO Earnedest. All right, so the tea time question of the day. This is the good one. I like this. How old were you when you found out aluminum can't be in a microwave? That is a tea time question of the day. How old were you when you found out that aluminum cannot go in the microwave?
I'm going to go with 7.
7. Probably. What were you making?
I never put any metal in the microwave.
Okay.
Just around 7, I was probably starting the microwave things. My mother was like, don't do that. And I listened to my mother. She's a bit stern. She can make a drill sergeant drop and give her 20.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I learned by experience. I put an aluminum piece in the microwave. It was my mother makes this food. It's called pupusa. It's like our culture.
Pupusa.
Yeah, pupusa. You know what pupusa is? Mm-mm. All right. Well, it's a tortilla with filling inside of it. Think of it as like a empanada a tortilla version of an empanada. All right, if you would put cheese, bean paste, meat, stuff like that inside of it. Well, one day I decided to grab it and I put it in a microwave with the tin that it was, wrapped in, and I walked away. And I turn back around and I see a light show coming from my microwave. And I'm like, oh, and I run over. I think I was about like maybe 12, 13 at the time. And that is how I learned that aluminum cannot go in a microwave. It's one of those things that people just didn't tell me growing up. I had to find out the hard way. And then she had this china plate, the fine china dining stuff, and it had like a little rim around it that was like kind of gold metallic or whatever. And I put that in a microwave too one time. I was making a hot pocket. Right? What a waste of a china plate making a hot pocket,
I didn't clock that.
And yeah, once again, another light show. And I panicked. So what did I do? I grabbed the plate because it was kind of on fire. Like it was a little bit of a fire going.
Kind of.
So I just threw it in the sink, just smashed it. And my mother never found out that I broke that china plate. I told her like maybe 3 years ago at Thanksgiving. And it was a great time, great story. Hid it in that house for a very long time. That's just, we just got away with stuff like that. Just hid it in the closet. One time my older brother got mad and he punched the wall, created a hole in the wall. You want to know what we did?
What?
His perfect attendance award. We put it on the wall to cover the hole.
Oh, you dirty dog.
Yeah, the New York special, if you would. And she never found out. So we moved out.
If my kid put a hole in the wall and they did that, covered it with a perfect attendance, I think I'd be laughing too much to even be mad. Be like, good one.
That's how we do it. Michael, how old were you when you found out that aluminum can't go in a microwave? This is a real question. I'm sure we've all done it. And if you haven't done it, you're lying.
I mean, I definitely learned like early, but I remember I was going to put a plate in the microwave with like a fork and knife, like a metal fork and knife in there. And I was like 10 or something. And then my sister stopped me. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." I almost just blew up the house probably.
Well, we've all done it. We've been there once or twice. So cheers to tea time. Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona iced tea. Arizona, we love you.
Shout out.
My favorite flavor as of late has been green tea. I've been on the green tea kick for a very long time. That green tea tastes phenomenal. Now, Austin, you're about to embark on another endeavor, which is podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be called the Dirtfoot Podcast.
Working title.
Okay. Talk to me about the premise of this potential podcast that you were hoping to launch.
I want it to be as casual as possible. I want it to feel like you're just sitting on the couch with your friends.
Yeah.
So definitely that. I also want to use my platform to like give local artists a shout or whoever, really. Just being able to platform other people.
Where does the name Dirtfoot, I know you said it's a working title, but where does that come from?
I don't know. Kind of like I'm a little dirty. I'm willing to say that. So
not dirty enough for a moldy piece of pizza with cigarettes in it.
No, I have a bar. It's on the floor, but I have a bar.
Okay. Yeah.
And
it's above the pizza.
Oh yeah. But I just want to have the podcast, be a little dirty, be a little off the cuff.
Okay, cool. Very cool. And, you had, speaking about pizza, if you go on your SoundCloud, there is a pizza song committed to pizza. Remind me of the name again.
The Valley Pizza Rap.
The Valley Pizza Rap. Okay, so talking about the Valley Pizza Rap, where did that come from? It's definitely a quirky song, but it's interesting that you even made it.
Yeah, so I watched a lot of Eric Andre growing up.
Yeah.
And just the ridiculousness of that show, like the Legalize Ranch bit and all that, everything. I said, because I started working at that pizza shop, I said, I need to make a rap song about this place. It'll be so stupidly funny that I just have to do it. To this day, people will come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're Austin Kash, the guy that made the pizza rap." I'm like, why is my legacy the joke song? Why can't you enjoy the songs about my pain?
Yeah. No, little sidebar here. What a name you got there, man. You got a name built for rock, Austin Cash with a K, not a C here.
Shout out,
And
Dad.
yeah, shout out dad, shout out your parents. It's just it's like it's meant to be, man. It's meant to be. And I think one of your newest EPs that was released is called Denialism.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denialism. It's a 3-track EP. It's an acoustic sound to it. Talk to you about denialism. The meaning of denialism is to be in denial, right? That you're kind of absolve yourself of fault of certain things, maybe. So
Mm.
talk to me about that EP.
So I actually can't remember which EP that is. Denialism will be the name of my full-length solo album when it comes out.
Okay.
Which denialism, you got it there with the denial, which is just like, denying the truth, living in illusion. And then the other half of it's nihilism, which is just the belief that, nothing matters, who cares. So it's like a mix of those. And I like to adventure into concepts of that on the album.
Mm-hmm. And how long is this album that you are planning to release?
It'll be 10 songs, maybe 40 to an hour, maybe.
Nice. Okay. And, you said the timeline on that keeps getting pushed back a little bit.
Yes.
But when are we expecting to kind of see it?
The full album, my last session to record is on the 2nd of August. So ideally, by like the second weekend of October, I'll have that out.
Really cool, man. Really cool. I'm really looking forward to see it. I think a lot of people are going to be responsive to it. It seems like you got a lot of love on social media. A lot of people definitely acknowledge that you are a full-blown, all-around musician, bro. There's a great video of you on Instagram where you're using a pot as like a symbol or something.
A colander.
A colander. Okay, a colander.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you choose a colander? What type of sound does that make?
So most of the answers to your questions are, I am broke. But
Gotcha.
basically, that's the answer. I didn't have a snare drum, and I go to the thrift store, and I'm like, what here could kind of be high-pitched, quick, and sharp? And I was like, they must think I'm nuts down at the thrift store, because I pick up a butter knife, and I just hold metal things to my ear and bang on them. They're probably, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
But that's just the musician in me. I'm like, there's sounds here. I got to find what I can use.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Hell, my car has like 4 metal tins in it right now.
Really? I did also see a video of you using a pencil on a guitar.
Yes.
As a clip. To change the tone, the pitch. Is that why you do that?
So what you're thinking of is a capo,
Okay.
and that goes over the top of the strings. Say
Yes.
It's like, think of it like a finger,
Okay.
just always pressed. What I was doing is, instead of over the strings, I was under the strings. So I was imitating like a Japanese koto. It's a 22-string instrument. But that's how they do the tuning. You put the stick in, and that changes how much length there is, which changes the tension. You slide it further down, you're loosening the tension, you get lower notes.
Yeah, you're very well knowledge on music, man. I was also seeing that, you like to play with tempos, like I saw like a 7-4, a 4-3, elaborate on that for the non-music, the people who aren't musically inclined like that. What are you doing there?
So it's all math and numbers.
Okay.
So with we'll go with an easy example, 3s and 4s.
Okay.
So when someone says music is in 4/4, I'll break it down. The 4 on top is how many beats there are in the measure. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom 4 represents what value each beat is. So when it's a 4, it'll be a quarter note. So there are 4 quarter notes in that measure.
Gotcha.
Let's say, just as a counterexample, you have 7/8.
Wow.
That would mean there's 7 beats, and the beat itself is an 8th note.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting, bro. And you just kept learning this, with the start of piano to definitely help you out with reading music. But now you don't read music? Sort of, kind of, lazy? Yeah.
So when I went back to college for music, I had to relearn how to read sheet music.
Got it.
So now I've relearned it to a degree to where I probably won't forget it, but I also just don't use it.
Gotcha.
You know?
I respect that, man. Well, Austin, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here, man. You are a very well-rounded individual. You're a fun guy to hang around with, that's for sure. You got a very mellow attitude to yourself. But I also know that you could pick it up and turn it up. I would say like you're a hippie yourself, dog. You're a hippie yourself. What do we got? What do we got? There it is. There it is. So, you're out here, you're living it, you're doing a great job. Encore Studios, I'm excited to see your debut album come out. I think a lot of people should really tap into it because you're just you provide a really wide range of sound and emotion with your music. And I'm excited to see what the final product is, man. So before we get off the air here, that's your camera right there. If there's anything that we missed, anything that you want to say for the people listening and watching at home, the floor is yours, Austin Kash.
There's a couple things I've promised I'd say. Shout out Wicked Wombat. We'll be playing in September at Phillips Emporium every Saturday. Shout out Rain McCoog, booking in Bloomsburg in the local area. Shout out my mom. Love you. And the rest of you sucks. I think that's a good point.
We'll end on that one. Well, Austin Kash, it was an absolute pleasure having you here, man, for episode 171 of the Middleman Podcast. For I am the man in the middle, Kevin Martinez, signing out. Peace.